David Lee Roth is more than just the lead vocalist of Van Halen. He is an explosive storm of energy that shatters every limit, the ultimate symbol of uncompromising freedom, and the most flamboyant icon in rock history. From tiny clubs on the Sunset Strip to massive world stadium stages, Roth built his legend through his signature screams, acrobatic leaps, and charisma that no one could copy. He once ruled the MTV era, then chose to walk away when the world assumed his story was finished. But that's precisely when the real adventure began, when he proved that Diamond Dave wasn't just a member of Van Halen, but a force entirely his own. This isn't only a story about music, it's a journey of freedom, massive ego, falls and comebacks, and fearless life choices. A legend that makes David Lee Roth unforgettable, even long after the stage lights have gone dark. David Lee Roth was born on October 10, 1954, in Bloomington, Indiana, USA. He grew up in a family deeply connected to art and entertainment. His father, Nathan Roth, was an ophthalmologist, while his uncle owned a legendary nightclub in Los Angeles, where young David first experienced live music from the stage itself. The family moved frequently until they settled in Pasadena, California. That's where Roth began shaping his unique personality. Confident, expressive, and always craving the spotlight. From the age of 12, he trained seriously in Japanese martial arts, especially kenjutsu, a discipline that later forged the mental and physical toughness behind his wild stage image. As a teenager, Roth was already singing and performing with local bands. He wasn't the most technically perfect vocalist, but he possessed natural charisma and powerful stage instincts. From small clubs to school gigs, one thing was clear. David Lee Roth was never destined for an ordinary life. Career journey, his professional path began in the early 1970s as a club singer in Los Angeles. He joined a band called Mammoth, led by two Dutch immigrant brothers, Eddie and Alex Van Halen. It was Roth who suggested changing the name to Van Halen, a simple decision that would forever change the history of rock music. In the wild clubs of the Sunset Strip, Van Halen earned a reputation as the most dangerous and unforgettable band around. Roth's acrobatic antics, screams, and provocative humor blended perfectly with Eddie Van Halen's revolutionary guitar playing. Their 1978 debut album exploded onto the scene, and rock music was never the same. Album after album sold millions, reaching its peak with the 1984 record that spawned the iconic hit Jump and crowned Roth as the most charismatic frontman of the MTV era. But behind the glamour, creative differences grew. Roth wanted flamboyant, party-driven rock, while Eddie leaned toward more serious and experimental sounds. In 1985, David Lee Roth officially left Van Halen. Many predicted his career was over. But the opposite happened. As a solo artist, Roth proved he was no one's shadow. Teaming up with guitar genius Steve Vai, he released Eat 'Em and Smile and Skyscraper, delivering massive hits like Yankee Rose and Just Like Paradise. His stage shows became even more theatrical, his tours more spectacular, and the name Diamond Dave grew into pure legend. In the 1990s, the grunge wave dimmed hard rock's spotlight, but Roth refused to fade. He experimented, wrote books, appeared on TV, and even worked as an emergency medical technician, EMT, in New York. A brief 1996 reunion with Van Halen ended quickly, but the fire never fully died. Finally, in 2007, the long-awaited reunion arrived. The tour became one of the most successful in the band's history. In 2012, they released the album A Different Kind of Truth, and Roth stood on stage once again as the living symbol of classic rock glory. After Eddie Van Halen's passing in 2020, Van Halen officially ended, but Roth wasn't finished. In 2025, he made a spectacular comeback with his first full concert in 5 years at the M3 Rock Festival, followed by an extensive US summer tour. Entering 2026, he remains active, surprise performing Jump with Teddy Swims at Coachella in April 2026, and launching his North American solo tour today, April 16th, 2026, with dozens of dates across the country. His energy is still electric, only now more mature and reflective. Behind the spotlight, and his status as a rock icon, Roth keeps his private life tightly guarded. Despite his well-known reputation as a flamboyant playboy, he is never married and has no children. A conscious choice he has never regretted. At the height of Van Halen's fame in the 1980s, he had a high-profile relationship with actress and singer Apollonia Cotero from 1983 to 1984, during the making of Purple Rain. He was also linked to Brazilian actress Sonia Braga in the mid-1980s. Beyond publicized romances, Roth fiercely protects his privacy. In a 2013 interview, he revealed he had 4 great loves in his life, but deliberately refused to name them out of respect. He also lived in Tokyo and had a serious relationship with a Japanese woman. As he grew older, his views on love matured. Freedom, he says, is the highest form of commitment. As of April 2026, there is no record of a steady partner. For Diamond Dave, love isn't about possession. It's about experience, respect, and the freedom to choose your own path. Over more than 5 decades in the music industry, David Lee Roth has built a net worth estimated at around $60 million. This fortune comes from album sales, massive tours, solo work, and smart investments. The core of his wealth stems from Van Halen's classic era. As the voice of the band's biggest commercial albums, from the 1978 debut to 1984, he earned royalties from tens of millions of copies sold worldwide. The 2007-2008 reunion tour alone grossed over $93 million, with Roth receiving a substantial share. His solo albums Eat 'Em and Smile and Skyscraper achieved gold and platinum status, and hits like California Girls, Yankee Rose, and Just Like Paradise continue to generate royalties from radio, films, ads, video games, and streaming. Outside music, Roth owns properties in Los Angeles, New York, and Tokyo. He once invested heavily in a tattoo skincare line called Ink the Original, which closed in 2022, openly admitting not every business venture succeeded, but the lessons mattered more than the losses. Ultimately, his wealth isn't just numbers in a bank account. It's proof of a rock icon's enduring value, even long after the spotlights fade. To the public, David Lee Roth is the ultimate rock and roll wild man. Non-stop parties, huge tours, and extreme freedom in his youth. In reality, his lifestyle is far more unique and disciplined than the image suggests. During the peak years of the late 1970s and 1980s, he lived the true rockstar life. World tours, luxury hotels, and wild nights. He has never hidden that his younger days were spent in total freedom, perfectly reflecting the rock culture of the time. As he aged, Roth transformed his lifestyle dramatically. He embraced structure and self-awareness. Martial arts, kenjutsu, kenpo, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu remain a daily discipline that shapes his mind and body. He is also a licensed helicopter pilot, a high-risk hobby that demands focus, training, and responsibility. He once worked as an EMT in New York, responding to hundreds of real emergency calls, not for publicity, but as genuine human contribution. He is not known for collecting dozens of supercars. His vehicles stand out for their custom rock and roll style rather than sheer quantity. The most iconic include the 1951 Mercury Custom Convertible featured in the California Girls music video, a personalized Mercedes-Benz 450 SEL, modified in true Diamond Dave fashion, a 1969 Opel Kadett that inspired the song Panama. At 71 years old in 2026, Roth still chooses experiences over excessive luxury. His life is driven by curiosity, discipline, and the courage to be different. David Lee Roth is an attitude, a living example of boldness and freedom shouted at full volume. From small sunset strip clubs to global stadiums, he proved charisma cannot be taught. It must be lived. He reached the top, fell, rose again, and always chose his own road without losing his identity. Even now, with a voice that may have changed and steps that may have slowed, the spirit of Diamond Dave still burns bright. A true legend isn't measured by how long he stayed at the top, but by the trail he left behind, and how the world of rock and its fans will never truly forget him.